What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another Knicks Nation post-game show as your New York Knicks take care of business by beating the Sacramento Kings by a final score of 143 to 120. The guys took care of business. That is now 3 straight victories for your New York Knicks. Hawks, Nets, Kings taking care of business as they should. What a game. What an incredible game for the squad. Thank you for being in here. Once again, smash the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button. Really helps out the channel. Really appreciate you guys for doing that. And join the Discord if you guys want to call in. Link is in the description as always. Wow. Appreciate you guys in the chat. I see you guys all in the chat. What a freaking game for your New York Knicks. Yasier, you say it. OG was the X factor. I said it on the pregame. I switched it to OG Anunoby last minute. OG Anunoby with an incredible game. This is what a well-rested Knicks team looks like. The guys had 3 days off. Josh Hart said Tom Thibodeau gave them 2 days off. Josh Hart said, Minute Police, get off of their back. What an amazing game from the Knicks, guys. So many honorable mentions tonight. Josh Hart with another triple-double. Another triple-double. That is his 6th triple-double this season. And he is creeping up, trying to catch Clyde Frazier and mark his stake as the number 1. And I believe he will. Because if he finishes his Knicks career in a Knicks uniform, which we all do think he will, Josh Hart is incredible. Look, I've said it multiple times. He is the guy in the team that makes things run. And Josh Hart with another freaking incredible basketball game for this Knicks team. 20 points, 11 assists, 18 rebounds. This guy just continues to dominate, continues to impress, continues to look like a steal, continues to make that trade look silly, continues to just shut all the haters. Just continues, man. Josh Hart's incredible, man. OG Anunoby. Let's give it up for OG Anunoby, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for OG Anunoby with his best game since the Denver game. And OG Anunoby tonight gave them 33 points, 2 steals. His shot looked good. Start this game, Anunoby looked incredible. 4-7 from 3. You love to see that. 5-6, get into the free throw line. 2 steals, 4 assists, 33 points. 12 of 18 from the field. We were waiting for a big blow-up game from OG Anunoby like this. And again, Anunoby was, if there was anyone that needed that break, it was OG Anunoby. And he looked great, guys. Tonight, he looked fresh. He had, I think, like 6 dunks tonight. I counted that he had like 4 dunks in the first quarter. So Knicks were finding him with his cuts. Obviously, he's a great cutter. Knicks were finding him. And, again, Kings really don't have anyone to guard OG Anunoby. And, before the game, I wanted to see Anunoby have such game. I didn't think he was going to give you 33 and 4 and 2 steals and 3 rebounds. And it just all around, guys. If you look at this box score, it's just all around. Bridges even gave you 27. Brunson, 25 and 11. This is the dominant Knicks team that we saw during the 9-game winning streak and that we saw in Denver and that we saw in Phoenix. The team that we saw out there tonight, the product that was on the floor tonight, this is the team that will be so hard to beat come playoff time. This team right here, where they score above 140 points, I'm sorry, you're not beating them. You're not beating this Knicks team. I mean, I'll go through the box score really quick, but when the starters are clicking like this, like they did tonight, when you give them 3 days off, I'm sorry, you're not beating this Knicks team. You're not. And, of course, we'll get to Landry Shamet as well. Hit some of these comments. Appreciate every single one of you guys. In here, New York Knicks beat the Sacramento Kings 143-120. Yuri, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. I see you in the VC. We'll get to you a little bit later. Yo, Alpha, what's going on? Let's go. Let's go. OG is back. Woody says, wow, what a game. What a freaking game. El Figgy, why are we so ghetto playing with the bent hoops and having Larry the maintenance guy? Yo, the game got delayed 10 minutes. You had he called him Larry the maintenance guy trying to, level the this is not him, but they were trying to level the basket. 10-minute delay, all because Mikal Bridges didn't like the way the basket was looking. There's Larry, the maintenance guy. He probably was in the back thinking that he didn't have to work, and they called him probably on his lunch break, and they're like, yo, you got to get out. You got to get out there. Let's try to level that hoop. That's funny. Tony says, and I said OG would have 34 points. I was close. Tony, well said. Love the prediction, man. Yeah, he balled out, man. He balled out. Big Taz, what's going on? Appreciate you in here. Appreciate you in here. Loud and clear. Thibs kept Josh, Mikal, and OG on rotation throughout the first half. Helped immensely. Loud and clear. Let's get to that. So, another thing I loved about tonight was Tom Thibodeau's substitution patterns, especially in that first half. Seems like out of the gate, out of the break, Thibs went 9 men in the first quarter, guys. He played 9 people in the first quarter. And you're thinking to yourself, like, wow, like maybe during these 3 days off, he looked at some film, the coaching staff, the assistant coach were getting, like, we're talking, maybe they were just talking, bantering back and forth like they probably do on a daily basis. Maybe it was brought up in a meeting that, look, I think another trend that we've been seeing is he's taking Mikal Bridges out early. 6 minutes goes by in the first quarter. Mikal Bridges is coming out for Landry Shamet. And in that first quarter, I thought Landry Shamet, 9 points in that first quarter. The Knicks had 13 points at the end of the first quarter. And you're sitting there like, wow. Like, before the game, I was like, look, Shamet has hit only 1 3 in the month of January. And he hit 3 of them in the first quarter. So right then and there, you're like, wow, man, Landry Shamet needed a game like this because we know him to be a good 3-point shooter. And obviously he's being, his shoulder injury has kind of held him back some. But seeing Landry Shamet do that in the first quarter, huge confidence booster for the player. But yeah, going back to the substitutions, he's taking Mikal Bridges out earlier now. And he's putting Mikal Bridges back in with the bench. And he's mixing and matching like that. And I love it. He's trying different things. He's trying different lineups. They want to see Deuce McBride as much as possible with Jalen Brunson. They want to see Deuce McBride with Campaign because those lineups are elite. The analytics love those lineups. And Mikal Bridges is starting to come in, and you're giving him rest, what he needs. And I love it. So you see Thibs is tinkering with the substitution patterns. And that's one thing I've been noticing. So shout out to Thibs, man. Tony said Hart had 3 blocks too. Tony, Hart is a dog. Hart is a dog, man. Yuri, OG, welcome back. I like how OG is aggressive. Joel says the score is lying a bit. This game was extremely competitive. Yeah, we'll get to everything, Joel. Unc, what's going on? Unc, appreciate you in here. Knicks win 143-120. I'm so proud of this team. We are figuring things out. Keep believing. What can I say about OG and Hart? Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Especially Josh Hart, guys. I mean, let's get to this box score. Why don't we? Let's get to this box score. So, Knicks 143-120. We don't want to look at this second quarter where the Sacramento Kings scored 42 points in that second quarter. So a once 19-point lead was cut all the way down to 2 in that first half. And you're saying to yourself, oh, man, like, come on now. Defense was not being played in that second quarter. But shout out to Josh Hart hitting a crucial and 1 to end the half, I thought, to put the Knicks back up 5 and to kind of set the tone in the third where the Knicks came out guns a-blazing. Look, the Kings can score, but defensively it's optional for the Sacramento Kings. And that's something I was talking about in the pregame. Kings can score, and Malik Monk, was lighting the Knicks up. But this Knicks team persevered. They went on their runs. They battled. Teams are going to make their runs. You go up 19 in the NBA, that's like 2 points nowadays. I mean, honestly, like in a blink of an eye, you're going to lose your lead like that. So, shout out to the Knicks for having a great third quarter. And honestly, in that fourth quarter, again, great defense was being played by this Knicks team in that fourth quarter. Josh Hart, 2 blocks tonight, excuse me. So to go along with his triple-double, ladies and gentlemen, 20 points, 11 assists, 18 boards, 7 offensive boards, by the way. He gave you 2 blocks, 1 steal. Fourth quarter, I thought this Knicks team turned it up defensively. The intensity got turned up. And, what's one thing we've been kind of saying? Like the Knicks' fourth quarter rating has been low because simply the guys don't really have their legs in the fourth quarter. So that's why they've been struggling in the fourth quarter. Well, tonight, I thought in the fourth quarter, you only gave up 20 points. You sign up for that any day of the week, right? And honestly, this was just such an efficient game. I mean, JB, we haven't even talked about him, gave you 25 and 11. I mean, that's what leaders do. That's what captains do. 9-17 from the field, 4-6 from 3. So it seems like he's starting to get into rhythm in terms of his three-point shot. It's starting to come back here, and we love to see that. Mikal Bridges, again, 5-7, 10-15, just efficient. 27 points, 27 points, 7 assists, 5 boards for Mikal in 35 minutes. So Thibs is playing with the substitution patterns in that first quarter, especially getting Shamet back in here in the game earlier so Mikal can get back in the game with the sort of like the bench unit leading to the starting lineup unit in the second quarter. And it's working, right? It's working. Mikal isn't playing these heavy minutes. And we went through the box score. These last 4 games, Mikal Bridges' minutes have been, they've been watching it. You love to see that. Incredible game. And then OG Anunoby, man. I mean, 3 dunks in the first quarter. 4-7 from 3. Just looked great, man. He looked great. Best game since the Denver game, right? Best game since the Nuggets game. And we've been waiting for this OG Anunoby. It was in there, man. And look, I just came to the conclusion that Anunoby just looked gassed. Like I said it after the Nets game. I was like, look, man, this guy's tired. He's tired. And he looked more like Anunoby. Obviously, he's not going to give you 33 on then 4-7 from 3, but that's the upside of OG, as well as the elite defense. So I'm just glad that these guys got the rest and they came out. Look, it was close. Kings made their run, obviously, but you beat them by 23. Knicks 100 GM, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. What's going on? That's a day one right there. Joel, what's going on, man? Appreciate you guys. Cat, 29 minutes. Love to see that. Love to see that. Joel says 3-game winning streak. Dropping the bombs. Yo, Alpha says, what about OG's 35 minutes, man? Love to see that. 30 anytime you look, 35. And the thing is, you had a 10-minute break in that. What was that? The third quarter, where the maintenance guy was out there leveling the hoop, trying to see if the hoop was leveled, because Mikal Bridges thought the hoop wasn't leveled, and so they got a little like 10-15 minutes to chill out there. So guys were great, man. Guys were rested. Tony, 40 team assists. Look at that, man. There's something going on with this ESPN stat board where that's another so amazing, man. 40 team assists. And like I said, guys, this version of this Knicks team is lights out, man. You can't beat them. You're not going to beat this Knicks team if they're all clicking like this, the starting 5. You're not. And obviously, there's been some inconsistencies over in the month of January, obviously. But this team played the most games in the NBA with the Orlando Magic 4 days ago. They were tied for the most games in the NBA. They were beat. They were playing a lot of minutes. They were tired. Came out tonight, 3 days off, looked great. And I know, look, the Kings scored 42 in the second. It happens. But credit to the Knicks. They adjusted, especially in that fourth quarter. They adjusted. But this is the upside of this Knicks team. This is the team that this is the team that I think can go to the Eastern Conference. This is the team. When they play like this, they're tough out. When this Knicks team plays like this, when you have all starters play like incredible. Obviously, this is not going to happen on like a game by game. This is not going to happen, but this has now happened multiple times this season, right? And we've missed this. We've missed this version of this Knicks team. And Anunoby's been struggling. Mikal has been great for the majority part of the season. The Nets game, he was struggling. He's had his on and off games in the month of in these last couple of weeks. Cat isn't attempting three. I mean, he took 1 3 tonight. Now he's dealing with the thumb injury. Still gave you 18 and 15. But this Knicks team right here, guys, you don't want to play them in a 7-game series. You don't. Vibes, what's going on? Well rested. Eddie, Achua played good. What's going on, Eddie? Appreciate you in the chat. Achua played good. Look, Knicks got it done. 120 to 143. Smash the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up, boy. Come join me in the chat. Also, come hop in the Discord and call into the show. So far, we got Yuri waiting. I see you, Yuri. We'll get to your call a little bit later. Eddie says good ball movement tonight. Great ball movement, man. And it starts with number 3, right? It starts with number 3. Obviously, number 3 and number 11. They gave you 22 assists as a team. I mean, as a duo. 22 assists as a duo from both of them. It's incredible. It's incredible, man. They're hard to beat. And look, Precious came in and did his thing too. 4 points, 18 boards, 1 offensive, 2 steals, 1 block. Especially in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter. But I'm gonna go back to Shamet, guys. This was big. This was a big night for Landry Shamet. Big night. Huge night. Massive night. Because there's been talks about him obviously being replaced, right? If you're not going to come in and hit your threes, what we know you to be so good at, then you got to hit your threes. He's been off. And for him to hit 3 threes in that first quarter, huge confidence booster for him. I'm hoping that it can carry over because he looked good tonight, man. Plus minus plus 29 points, all in that first quarter, 13 minutes. But I just love the way this game was coached. I love the substitution patterns in that first half. I love taking Mikal Bridges out in that 6-minute mark to kind of get him in with the bench in the second quarter. I love bringing in Deuce in early because I love those lineups of Deuce McBride, Jalen Brunson, Cat. I just love those lineups. And look, McBride, 1 of 8, 0 of 4 from 3 tonight. He's still an above 40% three-point shooter. I just loved the way this game was the subs tonight where I thought Thibs was on his game. And as you guys know, I haven't really been saying that, but I thought Thibs really was on his game tonight. And obviously it helps that Anunoby with an incredible game, and it just this is the game we've been waiting for, guys. This is the game we've been waiting for. We got it. Nostalgic, what's going on? This game was fluid. Fluid as can be. OJ and Mikal can drop 40 apiece when given the damn ball. Vibe says, let's celebrate this great win. Wild Boy Trey says the Knicks are winning the chip. We back. We back, ladies and gentlemen. We back. I love it. Look. When they play like this, guys, now they're 30 and 16, they're 15 and 8 in Madison Square Garden. Obviously, you got your tough stretch coming up. We'll go through it all. But look, man, when the Knicks play like this, no one is beating them, right? This is the upside of this team. When they score 143, when they shoot 47% from three. I mean, I know you're not going to shoot 47% from three, but when you shoot like that, when you play like that, when you assist like that, when you block like that, it's honestly watching this team, especially tonight, and it's honestly beautiful. Like, it's beautiful basketball. It's beautiful basketball being played. You know, no one's crying, no one's pouting. You know, everyone's getting theirs. Everybody. And, you know, I keep going back to this box score. And look, on the Kings side, right? David says, see, when the Knicks play unselfish and have ball movement and at least 30 assists, they win. With this high-powered offense, no need to worry about their defense. David Smith, what's going on? I appreciate you in the chat. Look, they gave up 120, but the Kings can score. They put up 116, 117 points a game, 117 points a game. And you came into this game, look, Sabonis got a triple-double, right? But you came into this game, you needed to stop De'Aaron Fox, and you did. 6 of 20, inefficient. DeMar DeRozan didn't give them anything. Keegan Murray, he's a good defender, but offensively, he didn't give him anything tonight. And they didn't get anything from their bench. Keon Ellis was on skates. Jalen Brunson put Keon Ellis on skates. This is now back-to-back seasons. Last season, Keon Ellis was thinking a screen was coming, and Jalen Brunson said, whoop. Went the other way, scored an easy layup. Tonight, in 2025, Jalen Brunson put Keon Ellis on skates. So Keon Ellis cannot guard Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry. You cannot guard Jalen Brunson. It's another, I mean, a lot of people can't guard Jalen Brunson, but tonight, when he get put on, he did a split. He did a split. I'll try to get the screenshot, but, and, you know, they didn't get anything from their bench, really. Trey Lyles came in, didn't give him anything, so you held him in check, but Malik Monk did his thing, was catching on fire, especially in that second quarter, and you're thinking to yourself, like, no, not again. No, please, not again. Not again. I don't want to deal with this again. Monk loves playing the Knicks. He got his points. 9 assists, 31 for Malik Monk. So, look. But when you outscore him like this, guys, when you play so well offensively, and when you lock down on defense in the fourth quarter, that's what makes it a good night, right? It's the NBA. Everyone scores. Do we still need to work on some pick and roll stuff? Yeah, we do. But this is what a well-rested Knicks team looks like. And obviously, we're not going to get 3 days off all the time. I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, we're off tomorrow and we play Monday. And that's probably going to be the norm. But what I wanted to see tonight bared fruit. You got 3 days off. Show us something, right? Show us the Knicks team that we've been waiting to see. And we got it tonight, for sure. And started with OG, and then Brunson was killing him. Mikal was cooking him, especially in the second half, especially when he tried to get the rim leveled. And then after that, he was lights out. So I don't know what they did to the rim, but it worked, right? So just an incredible game from the squad. Joel says, Campaign's game is very rigid, if you know what I mean. He only shoots open threes. He can't shoot contested threes, and he can't score in the paint too often. Joel, Campaign has been awesome for this team lately. He's been the one bright spot on the bench. Obviously, Precious has been great. Sprinkled in there with Deuce has had some good games, but Payne over these last couple of weeks has been incredible. Tonight he had a bad game from him, and that's the Campaign experience, right? That's the Campaign experience. You're going to have games where he's 0 for 5, 0 for 4 from 3. Like he's going to hit some regression at some point, right? He's not going to give you a 3 or 4, 5 from 3 every night. Look, he's a veteran. And when we need him to give us a spark, he does. And tonight, we didn't really need him to give us a spark because everyone else was playing so well. So I'm not, like, it was an off game, for Campaign. and McBride. 7 points from Campaign and McBride. But Shamet. I'm hoping Shamet can build off of this. I really do. I really hope that he can build off of this. Because if he's going to come in and give us like 2 threes off the bench, 3 threes off the bench, that's big for us. That's huge. I'm telling you, man, we need another 3-point threat like that off the bench. That's big, man. That's big. Keon Ellis dislikes Jalen Brunson very much. David says Knicks win with their high-powered offense. Please no more talk about rim protection and how we need Mitch. David, the beauty is Mitch is still coming back. So whether you think we don't need Mitch or we need Mitch, I personally think we need Mitch, and he will help. But the beauty is he's coming back, and I can't wait for that, honestly. Malik Monk, we got to get him on our team. L. Figure says we'll really need Cat against the Grizzlies. Oof, man. Yeah, L. Figgy. I mean, obviously we'll try to preview that tomorrow in the podcast, but they're big, right? They're big, so we're going to need our bigs. David says Thibs use more of the bench, which is also key. Unc Dre says everybody ate tonight. Everybody played with their food. Look, you got 27 from Bridges. You got 33 from OG Anunoby, 18 and 15 from Cat, 25 and 11 from Jalen, 20, 11, and 18 rebounds for Josh Hart to go along with 2 blocks, 1 steal. When the starters are playing like that, when they are all on fuego, on fire, when they are all assisting, when they are all sharing the basketball, nobody is beating this Knicks team. Nobody. Look, you scored 143 points. Nobody's really going to match that, honestly. And, you know, that's what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for a game like tonight because over this stretch, right, especially, you know, they've been wavering a little bit lately. They have been. We haven't seen a game like this. It's been a while. We're all-star farters. We're all 5 starters are clicking like this. And you get contributions from Shamet, Precious. It's been a while. And when this Knicks team plays like this, man, this is the upside of this Knicks team. This brings you back to like, oh, maybe Eastern Conference Finals, right? Maybe we can get there. Why not? Why not, man? Why not? I'm hype over this win, guys. I'm hype over this win. I am. I'm back. I'm hype over this win. This win got me, you know, look, I get it too. It's the Kings. They're not a really good defensive team, but it's honestly it's OG, you know. It's OG. I was worried about OG. I was concerned that the elbow was bothering him. I was. And I didn't think 3 days off would have been enough, but he took advantage of it, man. I don't know what he did. He went in the chamber, ice baths. I don't know what he did, but it worked because he looked good tonight. The cuts, the threes, the dunks, the full package, right? The full package. And you even had some crazies talking about possibly trading OG Anunoby. And this is why you just got to be patient. OG, I'm going to say it again. I said it last week. OG Anunoby has not played this amount of games in a row since his rookie season. That's a long time. He's healthy. He's on the court. He was gassed. He just needed a few days, and hopefully on Monday he can do more of the same. So, let's go. David says Josh Hart played well tonight. Shout out to Josh Hart, man. Had to put Josh Hart. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I had Brunson up here. This is not a Brunson demotion. Brunson is still right here. I had Brunson. I got to get another hook to hang up Brunson, but I had to put Josh Hart on the wall because this man is the definition of New York City, man. He is the definition of New York City. We've heard it 1,000 times, the heart and soul, but he is. He is. You need him. He is the oil in the engine. He is the oil in the engine. He makes everything run. He makes everything click. He puts people in their spots. He pushes the pace. If I were to grade Josh Hart this season, it would be an A+++++. And this is coming from a man who looked terrible in the preseason. Terrible in the preseason. He was lost, right? I'm just grateful that we still got him until 2028, by the way. So, shout out to Josh Hart, man. Shout out to Josh Hart. That's why when the Knicks score under 100 against the Nets and Hornets, it made no sense with this offense. Knicks must continue to use the offense this way. David, yeah. And look, David, the Knicks are not going to shoot 47 from 3, right? It's not going to happen. I mean, it was a great game. Great game. But it could be more like this. They could give you above 40% in stretches in 5 straight games. They could. I mean, there's reasons why they're like, what, top 3 in the NBA in three-point percentage? Because in the beginning of the season, I mean, you had Anunoby was amazing. Cat has been, 46%, 45%. And now you're worried about the thumb because he's not even attempting threes anymore. Brunson is starting to click in terms of his threes. Josh Hart is even having a career year in terms of shooting his three. I mean, to go along with his scoring, I mean, he's shooting the three extremely well. Deuce didn't hit one tonight. Campaign hasn't hit one tonight, but they're up there in terms of your 3-point leaders in terms of percentage. So I'm not worried about them. So, yeah. I mean, you mean to tell me in a 7-game series, this Knicks team can get hot, man. And that's why, like, when you pair a starting 5 so talented like we have, it's so hard to game plan against them. It's so hard to game plan against them. And especially if they're shooting like this, especially if they're shooting efficiently like this, you can't guard them. You can't. And put all that aside, you're starting to see Thibs change his patterns, his substitution patterns. You're starting to see Thibs tinker with more lineups. You saw McKellen with the bench more in the second quarter. You saw McKell get yanked early because Thibs wants McKellen with the bench. You saw Deuce McBride being put in with the starters. You loved that. You saw Cat, always loved the lineups with Cat in with the bench. It's always a positive lineup. And Anunoby, I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife. You could put him anywhere. I mean, it doesn't really matter with Anunoby, but you're seeing Tom Thibodeau realize that, okay, if I play Mikal Bridges more in stretches with the bench in the second quarter, it can bear fruit as the game progresses. And it has. It has. Look, we didn't see it in Brooklyn, but because he wasn't hitting his shots, man, in Brooklyn. He just wasn't hitting his shots, Mikal. And the whole entire Knicks team weren't hitting their shots. It was just one of those off games. So they were due for a blow-up game like this. They were due. Tony says Josh Hart should have been a reserve for the All-Star game. I'm sure if you ask Josh Hart, he wants nothing to do with the All-Star game. Man wants to kick his feet up in the sand at a beach, and he deserves it. Mike, what's going on? How are you? Appreciate you for being a member. Absolutely amazing win tonight. No complaints, except I dislike when we take our foot off the gas and allow the other team back in the game. Keep our feet on their necks. Josh Hart. Oh, and what I tell you about Shamit last week. Mike, what's going on? Appreciate you. Yeah, look, needed this game from Shamit, Mike. Needed this game from Shamit. And yeah, you were talking about him, but they were making their runs. The Kings team can score. They were making their runs. And look, guys, people look at the Kings and look, ever since they fired Mike Brown, they've been playing extremely well. But you looked at this game, and this is a game where, honestly, you came into this game like, okay, you're expecting this Knicks team to win. You expect them to win, and they did. They won by 23. They didn't play with their food in the fourth quarter. They locked down, especially in that fourth quarter, and that's a big step for this Knicks team. Defense in the fourth quarter, because it really hasn't been there for us. It really hasn't been there for us, and I know Malik Monk did his thing. But, aside from that, it was an amazing night, man. It was an amazing night. De'Aaron Fox didn't give you anything, and DeRozan, you know, didn't give him anything. So Precious plus 27. That's why. Yeah, shout out to Precious, man. It's the little things that don't really show up in the box score with Precious. But tonight, you saw the 2 steals and 1 block from Precious, which was amazing. And this is what you're gonna get from Precious, right? You're gonna get nights where he gives you 10 points and impacts the rebounding game. The 2 steals, 1 block is incredible. He has a knick-knack for the ball around the rim, and you love that. And hey, Dibs went to the bench. Matt Ryan, Jacob Toppin, Sims, Kolek all got some minutes there in the final closing minutes, and you love to see that. Karl-Anthony Towns didn't really want to come out of the game. He wanted to get 20. But he didn't. All right, let's get to this Discord. We got 2 callers in the Discord, I see. 2 callers in the Discord. Let's get to the Discord, guys. I see Evan in the Discord, and I see Yuri in the Discord. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's get to Evan. What's going on? Appreciate you in here. First time calling. Let's get to Evan first, Yuri, and then we'll get to you, okay?
No problem. We were just talking when you were.
Oh, okay.
We've been chopping it up.
What's going on, Evan? What you got?
Only thing, I love the conversation in the chat. I just want to hear what everyone wants to hear about this. Miles McBride. I was really hoping that he would be up for a 6th man of the year, but Landry Shamet comes off the bench and does the job that I thought Miles McBride should have done. So I would really like to hear, and Gary, I didn't ask you this either. I would really like to hear what is Deuce on the chopping block right now?
Oh, I got asked that question the other day. You want me to be honest?
We think
I say
Deuce
yes.
is doing a good enough job.
I would say yes. Deuce is kind of on a chopping block.
I think he's on the chopping block, y'all. I'm not going to lie.
There's a reason for that. I mean, I thought when he did good in that Boston game, in the first game, I thought he was going to have a 6th man of the year type of year. Then injuries just took a toll on him.
Yeah, it's bad.
Let me say something about the thing about Deuce, right? He's such a, because he was amazing for us last year in the playoffs, right? And obviously he's dealt with he's dealt with his injuries this year. But look, Deuce tonight didn't hit his 3, didn't hit his threes. But the thing about Deuce, guys, is if you look analytically, he's in the Knicks. He's always in the Knicks' best lineups, and Thibs loves to play him alongside Brunson, loves to play him alongside Shamet as well. But I get your I get your frustration with Deuce, and I even have a fun trade that I'm going to bring up tomorrow during the podcast, and it involves Deuce McBride. But
okay, all right.
I personally don't want to see. I personally don't think they'll trade him because he's on such a great team-friendly contract. But I get it. Look, we were expecting big things out of Deuce McBride this year, and it just hasn't been consistent with him, right? I mean, obviously the injuries and whatnot, but, he can come out Monday and shoot lights out 3-3 from 3, and we're all,
That's the special thing about the NBA.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. But, more or less, I'm talking when he gets the ball, I feel like 9 out of 10 times he's looking to pass. He doesn't have that killer's mentality, like, oh, I'm going to the rack and no one's stopping me. That's what I thought he would start to develop this year. And I really haven't seen it. I don't know about y'all, but that's I don't know.
Yuri, what you got?
I gotta agree with him. I gotta agree with him. I'm giving him a number of games. I'm not bashing Deuce. I love Deuce. I'm hoping that shot comes back. as time goes on. Because we really need Deuce. We need the bench to pick up. Because not saying that we don't have a bench. We just proved it tonight that we do have a bench. I believe we proved it tonight. We have a bench, personally. Especially with Shamit coming out and doing the rotations and stuff like that. But I don't want to see Deuce go. But if he's got to go, then so be it. This is a business, you know what I mean? The players that we love, like Dante, we thought Dante wasn't going to leave. Dante got traded. And that took me a long time to get over.
I'm still not over it, Yuri. I'm still not over it, bro. I'm still not over it, bro. we gotta get the fat goo back.
Hey guys, I
don't know if you're gonna do a video on this Knicks Nation, but Dante is actually out for the season.
No, I think he's out. He's gonna be reevaluated in a couple weeks.
Cook it up, Leon.
Hey guys, I appreciate you in here. You guys can chop it up with yourself in the voice chat. But
thanks for having me on, Anthony. I appreciate it.
Hey, loud and clear.
Love what y'all doing, man.
Appreciate you, loud and clear. Thanks for the support. All right, so shout out to them in the Discord. Once again, if you guys wanted to join the Discord, you can. Link is in the description. So the thing about Deuce is like he's 38% from three this year. He shot 41% from three last year, and I understand it. He just hasn't had that same punch off the bench like we're so accustomed to him having. And it's so easy to chalk it up to, he had a knee injury, then he had a hamstring injury, and he's been like in and out the lineup because of those injuries. So he really hasn't sustained a rhythm. But hey, one thing this front office has shown us, number one, and they're not afraid, right? They're not afraid to get better. And obviously, if they see something out there, they will strike. And if that involves Deuce McBride, it will shake a lot of feathers. It will anger a lot of Knicks fans. But I don't even want to go down that road. Obviously, I said I have a trade proposal tomorrow in the podcast. It's a little teaser. But I think Deuce can get better. But the thing I keep going back at is he's in all of the Knicks' best lineups. Like I go to Cleaning the Glass a lot. I search for the lineups, and Deuce McBride is in literally. I mean, if you look at the lineups he's in, it's the rating is the offensive rating is a plus like 35, 36, and defense is up there. So even though he's not scoring, he's doing other things on the basketball court that we're not, it's not showing up at the box score. But I get it. When you see Payne Pritchard doing his things and doing his thing in Boston. And I get it. I do. I expected a big out of Deuce, and we're just not having it. But at the end of the day, we're in a great spot despite that, right? But like I said, if Leon wants to get better, if Leon Rose sees something out there, he's gonna pull the trigger, right? It's all about pecking order, right? Deuce, you got Kolek waiting in the wings. A lot of people want to see that, but yeah. Mike says, I said this about Deuce games ago. It's not about time. It's about how does your game look, and he just doesn't have it to me. Now I love him. I just want him to start getting his bag and go off. Tony says, we have 30 wins as a team with our bench not scoring. Imagine if this bench finds their identity and gets hot. Dis Rover says, Deuce shot is broken. Dis Rover, I disagree. He's shooting 38% from three this year, and that's honestly, that's solid in the end. That's pretty good in the NBA, right? Only 4.6 attempts. And, obviously when he has an 0-4 like tonight, you're going to be like, yo, what's going on, Deuce? But you can look at this one or two ways. You can look at it like we drop 140 plus points with Deuce McBride not scoring. Yeah, or you could look at it like if he was going to provide us a spark on the bench, we would have dropped like one. That's the beauty of this Knicks team. But there's always room for improvement. Cully, You said Shamet had no confidence in his shot before the game. He heard you. Cully, what's going on? Yeah, man. I really wanted Shamet. Look, he made 1 3 in the month of January, and he came out in the first quarter on fire. He came out in the first quarter, 3 threes in that first quarter, looking like Landry Shamet. That's the Landry Shamet that we've been missing, and that's the Landry Shamet that has honestly, he's played like that for, majority of his career. But again, he's coming off of a shoulder situation. So the bench situation is tonight. I thought, you got some good minutes from them, especially Shamet and Precious. But what you're seeing is Thibodeau adjust his substitution patterns to kind of kickstart the bench, to kind of get them going. He's putting in Deuce in earlier with the starters. It didn't work tonight. But again, I still love that. I still love Thibs doing that. It will work. It has worked. But trading deadline is in 2 weeks, guys. And this Knicks team is waiting on Mitchell Robinson to come back. At this point, you just want to see him on the court. You want to see what he looks like. If they were to find a deal, they're always talking about finding another wing off that bench. Another guy that can stretch the floor 6'8", 6'7", that can defend. Those guys are gold in the NBA. Gold. It's going to be hard to, try to find someone of that ilk. But you got to trust Leon. You got to trust his front office because they've given you nothing but to trust them. So, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about some trades, which I told you, I got some trades mocked up. Some fun trades, too. I don't want to give them away because I want you guys to join us tomorrow at 9. But some fun trades. And they are involving Deuce McBride, by the way. So they're fun. Trades are fun. Trade season is fun. L. Figgy says, man, everyone forgot how Deuce came through when JB was struggling against the Pacers in the playoffs last year. Let's get him healthy and play out his contract. He comes up in big moments. L. Figure, what's going on, man? Yeah, and I keep going back to the game verse. This moment just sticks with me in my head. Philadelphia, Deuce McBride seemingly hits a game-winning shot at the foul line. Crowd is going crazy. JB's fist in the air. Obviously, we know what happened. Maxey comes down and they steal that game, right? But Deuce was great for us last year, man. Deuce was great for us, especially some of those games in the playoffs, And I think people's expectations of Deuce McBride this year were super high. I think people wanted to see him take a major step forward. He took a leap last year. I think people wanted him to take 2 leaps this year. And I think because we're not seeing that, people have started to sour on McBride. And look, I get it. I understand it because I was one of those people. I made a preview video for Deuce McBride before the season. I thought he could have been competing for 6th man of the year. But let's be fair. Injuries, right? So Mike says if he's a shooter, he needs to play more like Malik Beasley or the guy we've seen tonight, Malik Monk. He needs to spam getting up threes. But the honest question is, what is he? I think he is what he is, Mike. He's a great catch and shoot 3-point shooter. I know a lot of stuff around the rim is he's kind of, I don't think he's finishing great at the rim this year. I'll look it up really quick, but I think he is what he is, Mike. He's a great shooter. Deuce McBride is a great shooter and he's a great defender. And honestly, the Knicks need that off the bench. They do. They need his shot, and they damn sure need his defense off the bench. Right? Yeah. I mean, let me just pull this up here. This turned into a Deuce McBride event session I love this, but let me try to pull this up here for you guys. So this is from Cleaning the Glass. McBride is shooting 57% at the rim this year. That's not great. 21% from short mid-range, 41% from mid-range, 40% from three, 34% from non-corner three, 42% from above the break threes. All that is good, right? All that is good. But his stuff at the rim just hasn't been there this year. You know, a lot of layups that, you know, you're not really seeing him like finish at the rim, right? We know Deuce McBride to dunk on some people, right? Seems like he doesn't have his hops this year. Like I remember a few times he dunked on some people. Just seems like he doesn't have his lift around the rim. Mike, yeah, he's an undersized 3-and-D guy. He is. Right? And the issue is if you get rid of him, if you trade him, next guy up is Tyler Kolek, right? Obviously, it depends on who you get. But he's valuable. He is valuable. And especially on this contract. But I just think a lot of people were expecting a big 6-man of the year because we needed, you know, we traded away Dante, so people wanted to kind of put Dante's role on Deuce McBride. They kind of just wanted to, here, Deuce, play like Dante. You're Dante now. And two different people in terms of obviously, but McBride's still playing well. He's still shooting the ball well. So, you know, that's valuable at the end of the day. That's valuable. Buzzer Beater says McBride has not been driving to the basket. Front office are shopping Mitch and Deuce. Yeah, most fans think Knicks cannot win without these guys. Come on. I know. I like Deuce. He will be fine. Y'all, this team is about to get to the finals and enjoy the ride. Get in there. Let's go. Love the enthusiasm, man. Love the enthusiasm. Buzzer Beater says McBride has the best contract in the league. Buzzer Beater. Yes, he does, man. Yes, he does. One of the best contracts in the league, that's for sure. All right, guys, we're in a great spot right now. Third in the Eastern Conference, still 2 games behind Boston. Look, Cleveland, they've lost 3 in a row. The big, bad Cleveland Cavaliers have lost 3 in a row, and they just lost to Philadelphia. So let me just zoom in. Zoom in. No, I meant to zoom in. All right. So Knicks are 30-16, guys. If you were to tell me before the season, 46 games in, you're 30-16, you're third in the East, 2 games behind Boston. Look, you're in a great spot. 15-8 in Madison Square Garden, 15-8 away from Madison Square Garden. 22-10 in your conference. And the Kings were above 500. So you put that on your docket. But it gets tough. Gets tough. I never trusted the Cavs. Loud and clear. Appreciate you. Smash the like button, guys. Winding down here. This is when we kind of get crazy in these post games. There's no one available that I take over Deuce in a trade, El Figgy says. Yeah. The thing is, with his contract, you're going to have to, like, pair that with another player to get a player that you want because he gets paid so little. It's almost if like, yeah, I mean, he's in a great contract. And we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But look, third in the East. Schedule gets tough, though. West is still coming into your home. Memphis, Denver, LA, Houston. Your next 4 games: Memphis, Denver, Lakers, Rockets. Toronto. We almost gave that game away in Toronto, and then Cat did the New York. I'm so effing New York on his chest. Boston. Indiana's been playing well. Atlanta for the 20 millionth time. Chicago, who we can't beat this year. Cleveland. Boston. It's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule, but we ready, man. The game tonight showed us that we ready. Cavs. We're not guys. Cavs. Nah, I'm not. Look, they've had a great season, but we said our piece about the Cavs, man. Buzzer Beater says we have the hardest remaining schedule in the league according to Tankathon. It's tough, man. Just look at this: Memphis, Denver, LA, Houston, Toronto, Boston, Indiana, Atlanta. That's a tough schedule. But guess what? We're a tough team. If we play like tonight, bring it on. Bring it on. We ain't scared. Great win. Podcast on Sunday at 9 p.m. Be there. We got some trades for you guys. We'll go over everything. Obviously, we'll go over this great win. Appreciate you guys in the chat as always. Thank you for the support. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys on Sunday tomorrow. I'm Anthony. Have a great night. Peace.